Yo, what's good, everybody? Imagine this, you're chilling at home, thinking everything's cool, when some fake cops roll up, acting all tough, trying to mess with your family. Sounds like a movie, right? But this actually happened to me, and let me tell you, they picked the wrong house. My wife. She's not just any woman, she's a UFC trainer, built like a tank, with hands that could knock out a bear. These wannabe HOA cops thought they could intimidate her, but oh man, they had no idea what they were walking into. And then, on the same wild day, I'm out in public, just trying to do the right thing, giving up my seat to a pregnant woman on the bus. Next thing I know, she slips me a note that flips my whole world upside down. Wanna know what it said? Stick around, because this story's got twists you won't see coming, and I'm about to lay it all out for you. Let me set the scene. It's a sunny afternoon in our neighborhood, the kind where kids are riding bikes, and old folks are watering their lawns. We live in a decent spot, not too fancy, but the kind of place where people mind their business, usually. I'm Jay, 19 years old, just a regular dude trying to figure out life. I'm black, proud, and I've been through enough to know you gotta keep your eyes open. My wife, Tasha, is 26, and she's the real deal. She's been training MMA fighters for years, and when she's not in the gym, she's the sweetest person you'll ever meet. But cross her. Good luck. We've been married a year, and every day with her feels like an adventure. This day, though, was about to take adventure to a whole new level. So, I'm in the living room, scrolling through my phone, when I hear this loud knock at the door. Not a friendly knock, you know? It's that aggressive, boom 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 that makes your stomach tighten. Tasha's in the kitchen, chopping veggies for dinner, humming some old school R&B. I get up, peek through the blinds, and see these two dudes standing on our porch. They're wearing these cheap-looking uniforms, like they ordered them off some sketchy website, with badges that look like they came out of a cereal box. One's tall, skinny, with a mustache that screams I watch too many cop shows. The other's shorter, stocky, with a face like he's mad at the world. They've got this clipboard, and they're glancing around like they own the place. I'm thinking, who are these clowns? Tasha yells from the kitchen, Jay, who's at the door? I'm like, I don't know, babe, but they look like trouble. She walks over, drying her hands on a towel, and peeks out with me. Her eyes narrow. HOA cops, she says, half laughing. See, our neighborhood's got this homeowners association that's always nitpicking, your grass is too long, your mailbox is the wrong color, blah blah. But these guys, they don't look like the usual HOA busybodies. Something's off. Tasha's got this sixth sense for BS, and I can tell she's already on high alert. She's standing there in her gym clothes, muscles flexing just a little, and I'm thinking, if these dudes try anything, they're gonna regret it. I open the door, keeping it cool. Yo, what's up? I say, leaning against the frame. The tall one steps forward, puffing out his chest like he's about to arrest me. We're with the neighborhood security patrol, he says, his voice all fake deep. We've had complaints about your property. We need to speak to the homeowner. I'm like, complaints? Our lawn's pristine, thanks to Tasha's obsession with yard work. I glance at the short guy, who's smirking like he's enjoying this. What complaints? I ask, crossing my arms. Tall guy flips through his clipboard, pretending to read something. Unapproved modifications to the exterior. We need to inspect the premises. Now. Tasha steps up beside me, and I swear, the air shifts. She's not tall, maybe 5 feet 6 inches, but she's got this presence that makes people rethink their life choices. Excuse me, she says, her voice calm but sharp, like a blade. You're not inspecting anything. Who are you, anyway? I've never seen you around here. The tall guy blinks, caught off guard. The short one pipes up, we're authorized to enforce HOA regulations. Step aside, or we'll have to escalate this. Escalate? In our own house. I'm about to say something, but Tasha puts a hand on my arm, like, I got this. And that's when I know these dudes are in over their heads. See, Tasha's not just a UFC trainer, she's got a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and a mean right hook. She's trained with some of the best fighters in the game, and she's not about to let 2 fake cops push her around. You got a badge number? She asks, stepping closer. A name? A warrant? Because you're not coming in here without one. The tall guy stammers, looking at his buddy for help. The short one tries to double down, pointing at Tasha like she's the problem. You're obstructing an official investigation. We can have you removed. Removed? From our own property? I'm trying not to laugh, but I'm also getting heated. These guys are either scammers or delusional, and neither's good. Tasha doesn't flinch. She takes another step, now inches from the tall guy's face. You wanna try removing me, she says, her voice low, like she's daring him. I'm standing behind her, ready to back her up, but I know she doesn't need it. The tall guy's sweating now, his fake badge glinting in the sun. The short one's still acting tough, but I can see his hands shaking. They didn't expect this. They thought they could roll up, flash some dollar store badges, and scare us into whatever scam they're running. But Tasha, she's not the one. And I'm not either. Just as things are about to pop off, our neighbor, Mrs. Carter, pokes her head out from across the street. She's this sweet older lady who's always baking us cookies, but she's also nosy as hell. Jay, Tasha, everything okay? She calls, her phone already in her hand like she's ready to record. The fake cops freeze. They didn't plan on witnesses. Tasha turns to Mrs. Carter, all calm, and says, "Not sure, Mrs. C. These guys say they're HOA security, but they're acting real shady." Mrs. Carter squints, pulling her glasses down. HOA security? I've lived here 20 years, and I've never heard of that nonsense. The tall guy tries to interrupt, but Tasha cuts him off. You got 1 minute to explain who you really are, or I'm calling the real cops. Now, I'm not gonna lie, my heart's pounding. Not because I'm scared, but because I know Tasha's about to make these dudes wish they'd stayed home. The tall guy's fumbling for words, saying something about routine checks, but the short one's getting antsy, like he wants to make a move. I'm thinking, please, try it. Tasha's already in fight mode, her stance loose but ready, like she's in the octagon. I'm ready to jump in too, but I'm also wondering, who are these guys? Are they just scammers, or is something bigger going on? And why our house? We're not rich, we're not famous, just a young couple trying to live. Something's not adding up, and I can feel the tension building like a storm. Before I can figure it out, the short guy makes a dumb move. He steps toward Tasha, reaching for her arm like he's gonna grab her. Big mistake. Tasha's faster than lightning, she twists, grabs his wrist, and in one smooth motion, she's got him in an arm lock that makes him squeal like a pig. The tall guy's eyes go wide, and he's backing up, tripping over his own feet. Mrs. Carter's gasping, her phone up, probably live streaming to the whole neighborhood. I'm standing there, half proud, half shocked, because Tasha's making this dude look like a ragdoll. You wanna try that again, she says, tightening her grip. The guy's begging now, all his tough guy vibes gone. But then, out of nowhere, I hear tires screeching down the street. Another car's pulling up, and I'm thinking, what now? I'm about to tell you what happened next, but hold up, let's switch gears for a second, because this wasn't the only crazy thing that happened that day. Earlier that morning, I was on the bus, heading to the community college where I'm taking some classes. It's packed, standing room only, and I'm lucky to have a seat. This pregnant white lady gets on, looking exhausted, holding her belly like she's been on her feet all day. Nobody moves. People are just staring at their phones, pretending they don't see her. I'm not that guy. I stand up, smile, and say, "Hey, take my seat." She looks at me, surprised, like she's not used to people being decent. "Thank you," she says, her voice soft but grateful. She sits down, and I'm feeling good, you know? Like I did something small but right. As I'm getting off at my stop, she calls out, "Wait." I turn around, and she's holding out a folded piece of paper. "This is for you," she says, her eyes all serious. I take it, confused, and nod. Thanks," I say, stuffing it in my pocket. I don't think much of it, maybe it's a thank you note or something. I've got class, so I keep it moving. But later, when I'm back home, I pull it out and unfold it. And let me tell you, what's written on that paper. It's not just a note. It's something that makes my jaw drop, my heart race, and my whole life feel like it's about to change. I'm not gonna spill it yet, because you gotta hear the rest of this story first. But trust me, it's big. Back to the fake cops. That car that just pulled up. It's not the real police, but it's definitely not good news. 2 more guys get out, and they're not playing around. These dudes look like they mean business, big, tatted up, with that vibe like they've done some shady stuff and gotten away with it. The tall fake cop's face goes pale, like he knows them. The short one's still whining in Tasha's arm lock, but she's not letting go. Mrs. Carter's yelling now, "I'm calling 911 and I'm trying to piece it together. Are these new guys with the fake cops? Or are they here for something else? My mind's racing, did we piss off the wrong people? Is this about that note?" I'm clutching it in my pocket, not even sure why it feels so important. Tasha's still got the short guy pinned, but she's eyeing the new dudes, sizing them up. "Jay," she says, her voice steady, "get my phone." I nod, but I'm frozen for a second, watching these 2 new guys walk toward our porch. One of them's got a scar across his cheek, and he's grinning like this is all a game. "Let him go, sweetheart," he says to Tasha, nodding at the short guy. "We just wanna talk." "Talk? Yeah, right. I've seen enough to know talk means trouble." Tasha doesn't budge. "You wanna talk, you can talk to the police," she says, her grip tightening. The scarred guy laughs, but it's not a friendly laugh. It's the kind that makes your skin crawl. I'm about to run inside for Tasha's phone when the tall fake cop finally speaks up, his voice all shaky. "Look, this was a misunderstanding, okay? We didn't mean no harm." Misunderstanding? I'm not buying it, and neither is Tasha. But the scarred guy cuts him off. "Shut up, Carl," he snaps, and I'm like, "Carl?" So they do know each other. This is getting weirder by the second. I glance at Tasha, and she gives me a look like, "Stay ready." I nod, my heart pounding so loud I can hear it. Mrs. Carter's on the phone now, talking to the cops, and I'm praying they get here fast. But something tells me this isn't gonna wrap up that easy. The scarred guy takes another step, and now he's way too close for comfort. "Last chance," he says, his eyes locked on Tasha. "Let him go, or this gets ugly." Tasha's not scared, she's never scared, but I can see her calculating, weighing her options. She's tough, but 4 against 2? Even she's gotta be careful. I'm ready to jump in, no question, but I'm also thinking about that note in my pocket. Is this connected? Did my good deed on the bus somehow bring this mess to our doorstep? I don't know, but I'm not about to let these guys hurt Tasha or anyone else. Just when I think it's about to go down, I hear sirens in the distance. Thank God. The scarred guy hears them too, and his grin fades. He mutters something to his buddy, and they start backing off, but not before he points at us. "This ain't over," he says, his voice like ice. The fake cops are scrambling now, the tall one practically tripping over himself to get to their car. Tasha finally lets the short guy go, shoving him toward the street. He stumbles, cursing, and I'm thinking, yeah, you better run. But as they peel out, I catch the scarred guy staring at me, like he's memorizing my face. It gives me chills. The police show up a minute later, and we're trying to explain this whole crazy mess, fake cops, shady backup guys, the works. Mrs. Carter's still recording, probably about to go viral on the neighborhood Facebook group. Tasha's calm, but I can tell she's shaken, just a little. Me? I'm a wreck, but I'm trying to play it cool. The cops take our statements, but they don't seem to know who these guys were. No records, no nothing. Just a couple of scammers, they say. But I'm not so sure. Something about this feels bigger, like we just stepped into something we didn't sign up for. As the cops wrap up, I pull out that note from my pocket, my hands shaking a little. Tasha's talking to Mrs. Carter, so I've got a second to myself. I unfold it, reading the words again, and my stomach drops. It's not just a thank you. It's something that could change everything, my life, Tasha's life, maybe even more. But with those guys still out there, and that scarred dude's threat ringing in my ears, I'm not sure if it's a blessing or a curse. All I know is, this day started with me trying to do the right thing, and now we're in deep. What's in the note? Who were those guys? And what's coming next? You're gonna have to stick with me to find out, because this story's just getting started. The cops are pulling out of our driveway, their lights flashing red and blue against the dusk. Mrs. Carter's still on her porch, phone in hand, probably texting the whole neighborhood about what just went down. Tasha's next to me, her arms crossed, staring down the street where those fake HOA cops and their shady backup peeled out. Her jaws tight, and I know she's replaying the whole thing in her head, wondering if she should have laid that short guy out instead of just twisting his arm. Me. I'm leaning against the porch railing, trying to act chill, but my hands won't stop shaking. That note's burning a hole in my pocket, and the scarred guy's words, "This ain't over," are looping in my mind like a bad song. I keep glancing at Tasha, wanting to tell her about the note, but something's holding me back. Maybe it's the way her eyes are scanning the street, like she's expecting those dudes to come back any second. Or maybe it's because I'm not even sure what the note means yet, and I don't want to freak her out until I've got answers. We head inside, and the house feels different, like the air's heavier. Tasha locks the door, double-checks the deadbolt, and even peeks out the back window. "You okay, babe?" I ask, trying to keep my voice steady. She nods, but it's quick, like she's brushing it off. "I'm good, Jay. Just pissed. Who do those clowns think they are, coming to our house like that?" She's pacing now, her sneakers squeaking on the hardwood. I sit on the couch, pulling the note out but keeping it folded in my hand. "Yeah, that was wild," I say, my mind half on her, half on the words I read earlier. "You think they were just scammers, like the cops said?" Tasha stops, looks at me, and I can tell she's not buying it. "Scammers don't roll up with backup like that," she says, her voice low. "And that scarred dude. He wasn't here to mess around. They wanted something." Her words hit me hard, because I've been thinking the same thing. But what? We're not sitting on a pile of cash or some secret stash. We're just us, Jay and Tasha, grinding to make it. I'm about to say something when Tasha's phone buzzes on the counter. She grabs it, frowning. "It's Mrs. Carter," she says, putting it on speaker. "Tasha, Jay, you're all right?" Mrs. Carter's voice is all worry, like she's our mom or something. "We're good, Mrs. C," Tasha says, but her tone's still sharp. "What's up?" Mrs. Carter hesitates, then drops a bomb. "I was talking to Mr. Jenkins down the street, and he said he saw those same guys sniffing around his place last week. Said they were asking about new residents and suspicious activity. Sounded like they were fishing for something." Tasha and I lock eyes. New residents. We moved in 6 months ago, right after we got married. My stomach twists. "Did he tell the cops?" I ask, leaning closer to the phone. "He did," Mrs. Carter says, "but they didn't seem too interested. Said it's probably just a prank or something. But I don't know, Jay. I got a bad feeling." Tasha thanks her, hangs up, and looks at me. "This isn't random," she says, and I nod, because I'm feeling it too. Those fake cops weren't just here to scam us, they were targeting us. I finally unfold the note, my fingers clumsy. Tasha notices, raising an eyebrow. "What's that?" she asks, walking over. I hesitate, not sure how to explain without sounding crazy. "Something that lady gave me on the bus," I say, keeping it vague. Her eyes narrow. "The pregnant lady? What's it say?" I swallow, my throat dry. The note's short, just a few lines, but it's heavy. Written in neat, careful handwriting, it says, "You're in danger. They're watching you. Meet me at the diner on 5th Street tomorrow, 3 p.m. Don't tell anyone." There's no name, no number, just those words and a tiny sketch of a key in the corner. I read it again, my heart thumping. Who's they? The fake cops. The scarred guy. And how does this lady know me? I hand it to Tasha, watching her face as she reads. Her expression goes from curious to dead serious. "Jay," she says, her voice barely above a whisper, "what the hell did you get us into?" I'm shook, because I don't have an answer. All I did was give up my seat, trying to be a decent person. How does that lead to this? Tasha sits next to me, the note between us like it's radioactive. "You're not going to that diner," she says, her tone final. "It's a setup." I shake my head, because I'm not so sure. "Babe," she didn't seem like she was playing. She looked scared. Tasha's not having it. Scared or not, we don't know her. And after today, I'm not letting you walk into some random meeting with a stranger who's talking about danger and they're watching. No way. I get where she's coming from. Tasha's protective, always has been. But something about the note feels real, like it's the key to figuring out why those fake cops showed up. I don't say that out loud, though, because Tasha's already on edge, and I don't want to fight. Let's back up a bit, because you need to know more about us to get why this is hitting so hard. Growing up, I didn't have it easy. I'm from a rough part of town, raised by my grandma after my mom passed when I was 10. Grandma's a saint, but money was tight, and the streets were always calling. I stayed out of trouble, mostly, because I saw what happened to my friends locked up, or worse. School wasn't my thing, but I was good with my hands, fixing stuff, building things. That's how I met Tasha. I was 17, working part-time at a gym, cleaning equipment and stuff. She was there, training fighters, all focus and fire. One day, I fixed a busted punching bag, and she smiled at me, said, "You're handy, kid." That was it, I was gone. Took me a year to work up the nerve to ask her out, but when I did, she said yes, and we've been inseparable since. Tasha's got her own story. She grew up in foster care, bouncing from home to home until she was 15 and found MMA. It saved her, gave her a way to channel all the anger and pain. She's worked her butt off to become a trainer, and now she's got fighters who swear by her. But she's also got scars, not just the ones you can see. She doesn't trust easy, and after today, I can tell she's feeling like the world's closing in. Me. I'm usually the optimist, the one who says, "We'll figure it out." But right now, with that note in my hand and those fake cops' faces burned in my brain, I'm struggling to believe it. I stuff the note back in my pocket, and Tasha heads to the kitchen to finish dinner, but I know she's not hungry. Neither am I. The veggies she was chopping earlier are still on the counter, and the knife sitting there, glinting under the light. It's a dumb thought, but I wonder if we should start keeping it closer. Just in case. I shake it off, trying to focus. You think we should call the cops back? I ask, following her. She's stirring a pot of soup, but her movements are stiff. And tell them what, she says, not looking at me. That. Tasha notices me typing and walks over. What are you doing? She asks, her tone sharp. I don't lie, I show her the screen. Just checking out the diner. It's real, babe. Roses. Been there forever. She frowns, sitting next to me. Doesn't mean it's safe, she says, but I can tell she's curious too. We scroll through some photos of the place, red vinyl booths, checkered floor, a jukebox in the corner. It looks normal, but normal can hide a lot. I'm about to close the laptop when I see something in one of the reviews. It's buried in a long rant about cold fries. Weird vibe lately. Saw some rough-looking guys in the back booth, like they were planning something. Waitress acted nervous. My heart skips. Rough-looking guys. Could be a coincidence, but after today, I don't believe in coincidences. Tasha sees it too, and her face hardens. "Jay, you're not going," she says again, but this time there's a crack in her voice, like she's scared. Not for herself, for me. I reach for her hand, squeezing it. I won't do anything stupid, I say, but even as I say it, I'm not sure I mean it. That note's got me twisted up, and the idea that someone's watching us, targeting us, makes my skin crawl. I think about the pregnant lady on the bus, her tired eyes, the way she pressed that note into my hand. Was she trying to help me, or was she part of this? And what's the connection to those fake cops? I'm itching to find out, but Tasha's right, we need to be smart. We eat dinner in silence, the soup tasting like nothing because we're both too wound up. Afterward, Tasha checks every window, every lock, like she's fortifying a castle. I'm on the couch, staring at my phone, when I get a text from an unknown number. My heart stops. It's just one line, "Don't go to the diner." No name, no context. I show Tasha, and her eyes go wide. "Block it," she says, but I'm already trying to text back, asking who it is. The message bounces, number disconnected. Now I'm really freaking out. Who knows about the diner? The lady from the bus? The scarred guy? Someone else? Tasha grabs my phone, her hands shaking. "Jay, this is bad," she says, And I know she's right. But bad or not, I'm not sure we can just ignore it. Those fake cops, that note, this text, something's coming for us, and I don't know if we can outrun it. It's past midnight now, and the house is dead quiet, but neither Tasha nor I can sleep. We're on the couch, the TV on low with some random cooking show, but we're not watching. My phone's on the coffee table, that creepy text, "Don't go to the diner," still lighting up my brain. Tasha's got her knees pulled up, her arms wrapped around them, like she's trying to hold herself together. I want to say something to make her feel better, but I'm just as spooked. The note's on the table too, that little key sketch staring up at me like it's mocking us. I keep thinking about the fake HOA cops, the scarred guy's cold grin, and that pregnant lady on the bus. How do they all fit together? And why us? Tasha breaks the silence, her voice soft but firm. Jay, we need to figure this out. We can't just sit here waiting for those guys to come back. I nod, because she's right, but where do we even start? I grab my laptop again, my hands sweaty as I open it. Tasha scoots closer, her shoulder brushing mine, and it's the only thing keeping me grounded. I start digging deeper online, searching for anything that might connect the dots. Fake cops targeting new residents doesn't pull up much, just more scam stories, but then I try Rose's Diner 5th Street suspicious activity. A few local forums pop up, and one thread catches my eye. It's from a couple weeks ago, some guy ranting about shady dudes hanging out at Rose's late at night. He says they were passing around a folder, whispering like they didn't want anyone to hear. The waitress kept avoiding their table, and when he asked her about it, she just shrugged and said, "They're regulars." Regulars? That doesn't sound good. I show Tasha, and her eyes narrow. Sounds like a front, she says, her MMA instincts kicking in. Like they're using the diner for something sketchy. I'm thinking drugs or money laundering, but then I remember the note. You're in danger. They're watching you. This feels bigger than that. Tasha grabs her phone and starts texting someone. Who's that? I ask, a little thrown off. My buddy Marcus, she says, not looking up. He's a bouncer at a club downtown, here's all kinds of street talk. If those guys are part of some crew, he might know something. I'm impressed but also uneasy. Marcus is cool, but pulling more people into this feels risky. What if that note's warning, "Don't tell anyone," is for real? I don't say it, though, because Tasha's already on edge, and I trust her judgment. She sends the text, describing the fake cops and the scarred guy, and we wait. My mind's racing, picturing those dudes watching our house right now, maybe parked down the street with their lights off. I get up and check the blinds, my heart thumping. Nothing out there, just the usual streetlights, parked cars, a stray cat slinking by. But I can't shake the feeling we're being watched. While we're waiting for Marcus to text back, I start thinking about the pregnant lady again. Her face is fuzzy in my memory, but I remember her eyes, tired, like she was carrying more than just a baby. Why me? Why give me that note? I wasn't wearing anything flashy, just a hoodie and jeans, no sign I'm anybody special. But maybe that's the point. Maybe she saw me give up my seat and figured I was someone who'd listen. Or maybe she knows something about me I don't. The thought makes my skin crawl. I tell Tasha, I keep wondering if she's connected to those fake cops. Like, what if she's bait or something? Tasha shakes her head. If she was bait, why warn you? Why not just set you up at the diner? She's got a point, but it doesn't make me feel better. Nothing about this adds up. Marcus texts back, and Tasha's face goes tight as she reads it. What? I ask, leaning over. She shows me the screen. Heard about some guys posing as security, shaking down new folks in suburbs. Not cops, not HOA. Might be tied to a crew out of the city. Scarface dude sounds like Tommy V. Bad news. Stay sharp. Tommy V. My stomach drops. A crew out of the city? That's not just scammers, that's organized, maybe even dangerous. Tasha's already typing back, asking for more details, but Marcus doesn't respond right away. I'm freaking out now, because this is way bigger than I thought. What's Tommy V's deal? I ask, my voice shaky. Tasha sets her phone down, her expression grim. If Marcus says his bad news, he's not exaggerating. Could be drugs, extortion, who knows? But they're not just here for a quick buck. Her words hang in the air, and I feel like the walls are closing in. I'm about to ask what we should do when there's a noise outside, a low rumble, like a car idling. Tasha's on her feet in a second, grabbing a baseball bat from the closet. Stay here, she whispers, but I'm not letting her go alone. I follow her to the front window, my heart in my throat. We peek through the blinds, and sure enough, there's a dark SUV parked across the street, no lights on. It's too far to see inside, but I swear I feel eyes on us. Tasha's grip on the bat tightens, and I'm thinking about that knife in the kitchen again. Call the cops, I whisper. She shakes her head. Not yet. Could be nothing. But we both know it's not nothing. The SUV sits there for what feels like forever, then slowly pulls away, its taillights disappearing around the corner. Tasha doesn't relax, and neither do I. We go back to the couch, but now we're both wired, jumping at every creak in the house. I'm thinking about our life before this, how we were just a young couple, dreaming about saving up for a better place, maybe starting a family someday. Tasha wants to open her own gym, and I've been taking classes to get into carpentry. Normal stuff. Now we're caught up in some mess that feels like it's straight out of a crime show. I pull out the note again, staring at that key sketch. What if this is about something we don't even know we're part of? I say, half to myself. Tasha looks at me, her eyes searching. Like what? I shrug, because I don't know, but my mind's spinning. Maybe it's about the house, something the previous owners left behind. Or maybe it's personal, tied to Tasha's past or mine. Grandma used to warn me about bad company from the old neighborhood, but I've been clean, out of that life. Still, the thought lingers. Tasha's phone buzzes again, and it's Marcus. Tommy vs. Crew's been hitting new residents, looking for something specific. Nobody knows what. Cops don't care unless it's big. Watch your back. Looking for something specific? My blood runs cold. I'm thinking about the fake cops' clipboard, how they kept personally and specifically targeting us for some reason. Were they checking us against a list? And what's the something they're after? Tasha's thinking the same thing, because she says, we need to check the house. If they're looking for something, it might be here. I'm not sure I want to start tearing up our place at 1 a.m., but she's already up, heading for the garage. Babe, now? I ask, following her. Yeah, now, she says, her voice all business. If those guys come back, I want to know what they're after before they do. The garage is a mess, boxes from when we moved in, tools, some old furniture we haven't gotten rid of. Tasha starts pulling stuff down, checking inside boxes, shaking out bags. I join her, but I'm half expecting to find nothing but dust and spiderwebs. We're quiet, just the sound of cardboard ripping and metal clanking. Then I notice something, a loose panel in the back wall, behind a stack of paint cans. It's not obvious, but the edge is slightly off, like it's been pried open before. Tasha, look at this, I say, my voice low. She comes over, and we push the cans aside. The panel's wood, but it's not nailed down, just sitting there. My heart's pounding as I lift it, expecting maybe a rat or some old junk. Instead, there's a small metal box, rusted but heavy, tucked in the wall. Tasha and I stare at it, neither of us moving. What the hell, she whispers. I reach for it, but Tasha grabs my arm. Don't, she says, her eyes wide. We don't know what's in there. She's right, but I'm too curious to stop. Babe, if this is what they're after, we need to know, I say, trying to sound braver than I feel. I pull the box out, and it's locked, no keyhole, just a combination dial. The key sketch on the note flashes in my mind, but this doesn't make sense, there's no key involved. Tasha's breathing hard, her bat still in hand. Jay, this is bad, she says again, and I know she's thinking about Tommy V and his crew. If this box is what they're looking for, we're in way deeper than we thought. I'm about to try the dial when my phone vibrates in my pocket. Another text, same unknown number, leave the box alone. They'll kill for it. My hands freeze, and Tasha sees my face. What now? She asks, her voice sharp. I show her the text, and her face goes pale. We're standing in our garage, holding a box that might get us killed, with no idea who's texting or what's coming next. And that diner meeting? It's starting to feel like our only shot at answers if we're brave enough to take it. Meanwhile, across town, the pregnant lady from the bus is sitting in a dimly lit apartment, her hands trembling as she clutches a photo. It's old, faded, showing a younger version of herself with a man who looks eerily like the scarred guy, Tommy V. She's been watching Jay for weeks, not because she wanted to, but because she had no choice. The note was a risk, a desperate move to warn him, but she knows it might not be enough. Her phone buzzes, and she flinches, expecting another threat. Instead, it's a message from someone she thought she'd never hear from again. He found the box. Get him to the diner, or it's over. She drops the phone, tears in her eyes, because she knows what's at stake, not just for her, but for Jay and Tasha, too. She's trapped, just like they are, and the clock's ticking. Back at our house, Tasha's pacing again, the bat propped against the wall. We're not opening that box, she says, her voice final. Not until we know more. I nod, but my mind's on that text. They'll kill for it. Who's they? Tommy vs. crew? The lady from the bus? Someone else? I'm tempted to text back, but Tasha's watching me, and I know she'd lose it if I did. Instead, I hide the box under some old blankets, hoping it's enough for now. But as we head back inside, I hear another car outside, slow and quiet, like it's circling. Tasha hears it too, and we freeze, our eyes locked. The tension's thick, and I know we're not sleeping tonight. Whatever's in that box, whatever's in that note, it's pulling us into something we might not walk away from. And the worst part? We're not even sure who we're fighting. The car outside doesn't stop this time. Its engine hums low, like a predator circling, and Tasha and I are frozen in the living room, staring at the blinds. My heart's hammering so hard I can barely hear anything else. The bat's in Tasha's hand again, her knuckles white around the grip, and I'm clutching my phone, the last text, they'll kill for it, burning in my mind. The box is still hidden in the garage, but it feels like it's screaming our location to whoever's out there. Tasha whispers, "Stay low," and we crouch behind the couch, peeking through a sliver in the blinds. The SUV's back, parked under a streetlight now, and I can just make out two figures inside. One's got a phone to his ear, and the other's staring straight at our house. My stomach lurches. That's them, I hiss, recognizing the scarred guy's silhouette. Tommy V. Tasha's eyes are steel, but I can see the fear in them, same as mine. We need to move, she says, her voice barely audible. They're not just watching anymore. We crawl to the kitchen, keeping below the windows, and Tasha grabs her phone. I'm texting Marcus, she says, her fingers flying. He might know what Tommy's crew is planning. I nod, but I'm thinking about that note again, the one from the pregnant lady. Meet me at the diner on 5th Street tomorrow, 3 p.m. It's 2 a.m. now, and the idea of waiting until tomorrow feels like a death sentence. But that text warning me not to go. It's got me second-guessing everything. What if the diner's a trap? What if it's our only way out? I pull the note from my pocket, the paper crumpled from being handled so much, and stare at the key sketch. It's gotta mean something, but what? Tasha notices and shakes her head. Jay, don't even think about it. We're not running off to some sketchy diner with these guys breathing down our necks. I want to argue, but the look in her eyes shuts me up. She's not just scared, she's ready to fight, and that's what keeps me grounded. Marcus texts back, and it's not good. Tommy vs. Crew's moving tonight. Word is they're after a package, something big. If you've got it, get out. Now. My blood runs cold. The box. It's gotta be the box. I whisper to Tasha, it's in the garage. We can't let them find it. She nods, but her face is grim. We need to hide it better or get it out of here. Hide it? Where? Our house isn't exactly Fort Knox. And leaving with Tommy vs. Crew outside? That's a suicide mission. But staying here, waiting for them to bust in, isn't any better. I'm sweating, my mind racing through options, but everyone feels like a trap. Tasha's thinking the same, because she says, we could sneak out the back, through the yard. Get to Mrs. Carter's place, call the cops from there. It's a plan, but a shaky one. Mrs. Carter's house is across the street, and that suv's got a clear view of everything. Before we can decide, there's a knock at the door. Not loud, not aggressive, just a soft tap tap tap. It's worse than the booming from earlier, because it's so calm, like whoever's out there knows we're trapped. Tasha grips the bat tighter, and I grab a kitchen knife from the counter, my hands shaking so bad I almost drop it. We don't move, don't breathe, just listen. Another knock, then a voice, low, smooth, and way too familiar. Jay, Tasha, let's talk. No need for this to get messy. It's Tommy V. My heart stops. How does he know our names? Tasha's eyes go wide, and she mouths, don't answer. I nod, but I'm freaking out. The knife feels useless in my hand, and I'm picturing that scarred face, that grin, like his already won. The knocking stops, and for a second, I think he's gone. Then I hear the back door rattle, like someone's testing the lock. Tasha's on her feet, bat raised, and I'm right behind her, my pulse pounding in my ears. We creep toward the back door, staying low, and I can see the handle jiggling through the glass. It's locked, but that won't hold forever. Tasha whispers, garage. Now. We slip through the house, quiet as we can, and make it to the garage. The box is still under the blankets, and I grab it, the metal cold and heavy in my hands. Tasha's scanning the garage, looking for anything we can use, a crowbar, a wrench, something. We can't stay here, she says, her voice urgent. They'll break in. I know she's right, but the thought of running out into the night with Tommy vs crew waiting makes my legs feel like jelly. I stuff the box into a backpack, slinging it over my shoulder, and Tasha grabs a flashlight. Backyard, she says, pointing to the side door. We cut through the fence, get to the alley. It's our only shot, but it's a long one. We ease the side door open, the night air hitting us like a slap. The backyard's dark, just shadows and the faint glow of streetlights. I can still hear the suv's engine, idling out front, and my stomach twists. Are they all out there, or is someone already in the yard? Tasha's ahead of me, moving like she's in the octagon, silent and focused. We reach the fence, a rickety wooden thing, and she starts prying at a loose board. It creaks, loud enough to make me wince, but it gives. We slip through, the backpack catching on a nail, and I have to yank it free, my breath hitching. The alley's narrow, lined with trash cans and overgrown weeds, and it smells like damp concrete. We crouch behind a dumpster, listening. Nothing but crickets and that damn engine. Tasha's hand finds mine, squeezing hard, and it's the only thing keeping me from losing it. We're about to move when my phone buzzes. I fumble to silence it, cursing under my breath. Another text, same unknown number. They're in the house. Run. My heart lurches, and I show Tasha. Her face goes pale, but she doesn't hesitate. Go, she whispers, pulling me toward the end of the alley. We're moving fast now, sticking to the shadows, the backpack bouncing against my back. I'm trying not to think about what's in the box, what's worth killing for, but it's all I can think about. The alley spits us out onto a side street, and we keep going, cutting through yards, hopping low fences. My lungs are burning, but Tasha's relentless, her UFC training keeping her steady. I'm just trying to keep up, my mind spinning. Who's texting me? The pregnant lady? Someone else? And how do they know what's happening? We make it to a strip mall a few blocks away, ducking behind a closed-up laundromat. Tasha's panting, but her eyes are sharp, scanning the street. We need a plan, she says, her voice low. We can't just keep running. I nod, catching my breath, and pull out my phone. No new texts, but I'm thinking about the diner again. It's only a few miles from here, and part of me wants to go now, not wait for 3 p.m. What about roses? I say, knowing she's gonna hate it. Tasha's head snaps toward me. Are you crazy? That's what they want, Jay. To lure you there. Maybe she's right, but I'm not so sure. The note felt like a warning, not a setup. And those texts. They're trying to keep us alive, aren't they? I'm about to argue when we hear tires screeching nearby. Tasha grabs my arm, pulling me deeper into the shadows. Headlights sweep the street, and I catch a glimpse of that SUV, cruising slow, like it's hunting. My phone buzzes again, and I almost drop it. Another text, diner. Now. Only chance. I show Tasha, and her jaw clenches. This is a game, Jay, she says, her voice shaking with anger. They're playing us. But I'm not so sure. The texts, the note, the box, it's all connected, and I'm starting to think the pregnant lady's our only way out. Babe, what if she's trying to help? I say, my voice desperate. What if she knows what's in the box? Tasha's eyes search mine, and I can tell she's torn. She's a fighter, but she's smart, and she knows we're running out of moves. The sub's engine grows louder, closer, and I feel like we're seconds from being spotted. We can't stay here, I say, my voice cracking. Tasha nods, but her face is hard. Fine. Dinah. But we go together, and we go armed. We slip out from behind the laundromat, moving fast but quiet, sticking to alleys and side streets. The diner's not far, but every step feels like a gamble. I'm clutching the backpack, the box inside heavy as a brick, and Tasha's got the bat tucked under her jacket, her eyes darting everywhere. My mind's a mess, Tommy vs. crew, the fake cops, the pregnant lady, the texts. Who's pulling the strings? And what's in this damn box? Drugs? Money? Something worse? The key sketch keeps nagging at me, like it's the missing piece, but I don't have time to figure it out. The diner's neon sign comes into view, flickering in the dark, and my stomach knots up. Rose's looks empty, just a lone waitress wiping down tables, but I know better than to trust it. Those regulars from the forum, Tommy vs. crew, they could be inside, waiting. We stop across the street, crouching behind a parked car. Tasha's breathing hard, her hand on my arm. You sure about this? She whispers. I'm not, but we're out of options. The sub's still out there, probably circling, and our house is compromised. I pull out the note one last time, reading it under the streetlight. You're in danger. They're watching you. My eyes catch on the key sketch again, and something clicks, not a key for a lock, but a symbol. I've seen it before, on the metal box, etched faintly in the corner. My heart races. Tasha, I whisper, the box, it's got the same mark. Her eyes widen, but before she can say anything, headlights flash behind us. The SUV's turning onto the street, slow and deliberate, and I know we're out of time. The diner's our only shot, but walking in there feels like stepping into a lion's den. Tasha grabs my hand, her grip fierce, and we sprint across the street, the neon sign glowing like a beacon. The door's just feet away, but I hear the SUV's engine rev, closing in, and I know whatever's waiting inside answers or danger, it's about to change everything. Meanwhile, inside Rose's, the pregnant lady's sitting in a back booth, her hands folded tight to hide the shaking. The photo of her and Tommy V is tucked in her purse, a reminder of the life she's trying to escape. She's been watching the door all night, knowing Jay and Tasha are coming, knowing what's at stake. The waitress, nervous and jumpy, keeps glancing at her, like she knows something's up. In the kitchen, two of Tommy V's guys are waiting, their eyes on the back entrance, ready to move if Jay shows. The lady's phone buzzes with a final text. They're here. Do it, or you're done. She closes her eyes, whispering a prayer, because she knows this is it, the moment where everything collides. Jay, Tasha, the box, Tommy vs. crew, her own secrets, they're all about to meet, and she's not sure any of them will make it out alive. We make it to a strip mall a few blocks away, ducking behind a closed-up laundromat. Tasha's panting, but her eyes are sharp, scanning the street. We need a plan, she says, her voice low. We can't just keep running. I nod, catching my breath, and pull out my phone. No new texts, but I'm thinking about the diner again. It's only a few miles from here, and part of me wants to go now, not wait for 3 p.m. What about Rose's? I say, knowing she's gonna hate it. Tasha's head snaps toward me. Are you crazy? That's what they want, Jay. To lure you there. Maybe she's right, but I'm not so sure. The note felt like a warning, not a setup. And those texts. They're trying to keep us alive, aren't they? I'm about to argue when we hear tires screeching nearby. Tasha grabs my arm, pulling me deeper into the shadows. Headlights sweep the street, and I catch a glimpse of that SUV, cruising slow, like it's hunting. My phone buzzes again, and I almost drop it. Another text, Dinah. Now. Only chance. I show Tasha, and her jaw clenches. "This is a game, Jay," she says, her voice shaking with anger. "They're playing us." But I'm not so sure. The texts, the note, the box, it's all connected, and I'm starting to think the pregnant lady's our only way out. "Babe, what if she's trying to help?" I say, my voice desperate. "What if she knows what's in the box?" Tasha's eyes search mine, and I can tell she's torn. She's a fighter, but she's smart, and she knows we're running out of moves. The SUV's engine grows louder, closer, and I feel like we're seconds from being spotted. "We can't stay here," I say, my voice cracking. Tasha nods, but her face is hard. "Fine. Dinah." But we go together, and we go armed. We slip out from behind the laundromat, moving fast but quiet, sticking to alleys and side streets. The diner's not far, but every step feels like a gamble. I'm clutching the backpack, the box inside heavy as a brick, and Tasha's got the bat tucked under her jacket, her eyes darting everywhere. My mind's a mess. Tommy vs. crew, the fake cops, the pregnant lady, the texts. Who's pulling the strings? And what's in this damn box? Drugs? Money? Something worse? The key sketch keeps nagging at me, like it's the missing piece, but I don't have time to figure it out. The diner's neon sign comes into view, flickering in the dark, and my stomach knots up. Rose's looks empty, just a lone waitress wiping down tables, but I know better than to trust it. Those regulars from the forum, Tommy vs. crew, they could be inside, waiting. We stop across the street, crouching behind a parked car. Tasha's breathing hard, her hand on my arm. "You sure about this?" she whispers. I'm not, but we're out of options. The SUV's still out there, probably circling, and our house is compromised. I pull out the note one last time, reading it under the streetlight. "You're in danger. They're watching you." My eyes catch on the key sketch again, and something clicks, not a key for a lock, but a symbol. I've seen it before, on the metal box, etched faintly in the corner. My heart races. "Tasha," I whisper, "the box, it's got the same mark." Her eyes widen, but before she can say anything, headlights flash behind us. The SUV's turning onto the street, slow and deliberate, and I know we're out of time. The diner's our only shot, but walking in there feels like stepping into a lion's den. Tasha grabs my hand, her grip fierce, and we sprint across the street, the neon sign glowing like a beacon. The door's just feet away, but I hear the SUV's engine rev, closing in, and I know whatever's waiting inside answers or danger, it's about to change everything. Meanwhile, inside Rose's, the pregnant lady's sitting in a back booth, her hands folded tight to hide the shaking. The photo of her and Tommy V is tucked in her purse, a reminder of the life she's trying to escape. She's been watching the door all night, knowing Jay and Tasha are coming, knowing what's at stake. The waitress, nervous and jumpy, keeps glancing at her, like she knows something's up. In the kitchen, two of Tommy V's guys are waiting, their eyes on the back entrance, ready to move if Jay shows. The lady's phone buzzes with a final text. "They're here. Do it, or you're done." She closes her eyes, whispering a prayer, because she knows this is it, the moment where everything collides. Jay, Tasha, the box, Tommy vs. crew, her own secrets, they're all about to meet, and she's not sure any of them will make it out alive. The diner's air is so thick it's choking, every neon flicker making my pulse jump. Tommy vs. standing there, his scarred face like stone, his hand inching toward the glint of metal under his jacket. Tasha's got her bat ready, her stance screaming she's about to go full MMA on these guys, and I'm clutching the backpack with that damn box, my knife useless in my pocket. Lena's pleading with Tommy, tears on her face, talking about protecting him, whoever that is, and my phone's burning with that last text. "Lena's not who you think. Trust no one." My head's a mess. Lena's tied to Tommy, our house is some kind of criminal hotspot, and now I'm doubting the one person who might have been trying to help us. The two goons from the kitchen are edging closer, their eyes locked on the backpack, and I know we've got seconds before this blows up. Tasha's whispering, "Jay, we gotta move," but there's nowhere to go. The diner's a cage, and we're the ones trapped. Then it hits, the second twist, and it's like a brick to the chest. The trucker, the one who's been sipping coffee like he's invisible, slams his mug down and stands. He pulls a badge from his jacket, the kind that screams Fed, and his voice cuts through the tension like a blade. Tommy, back off. This ends now. My jaw hits the floor. A cop. An undercover agent. Here. Tasha's eyes go wide, and even Tommy freezes, his hand hovering over his weapon. Lena gasps, her face paling, and I realize she didn't see this coming either. The goons hesitate, looking to Tommy for orders, but the trucker, agent whatever, is not playing. Jay, Tasha, step away from the box, he says, his voice calm but hard. That thing's been on our radar for months. My heart's racing. The box isn't just evidence, it's federal-level evidence, and we're caught in the middle of something way bigger than we thought. But Tommy's not done. His laugh is cold, like he's been in worse spots than this. You think one badge scares me, Fed, he says, his eyes darting to the kitchen. I catch movement back there, more of his crew, maybe, or something worse. The agent's hand goes to his side, probably for a gun, and I'm thinking this diner's about to turn into a war zone. Tasha's gripping my arm, her bat still up, and she's hissing, Jay, we can't trust any of them. She's right. Lena's got secrets, Tommy's a killer, and this agent. He might be legit, but he's not here for us, he's here for the box. That text is screaming in my head, trust no one. I'm starting to think the person texting me knows more than anyone in this room, and they're still out there, watching. Lena's voice breaks the standoff, shaky but loud. Tommy, please. You don't have to do this. Let them go, and I'll tell you where he is. There's that he again, and it's driving me nuts. Who's she talking about? Tommy's brother? A boss. The last owner of our house. Tommy's eyes narrow, and for a second, I see something flicker in them, anger, maybe, or pain. You're out of moves, Lena, he says, but his voice cracks, just a little. Whatever history they've got, it's deep, and it's tearing them both apart. The agent steps forward, his badge gleaming under the neon. Nobody's going anywhere until that box is in my hands, he says, looking at me. Jay, don't make this harder than it has to be. My stomach twists. Give up the box, and we're at the mercy of Tommy or the feds. Keep it, and we're dead either way. Tasha's not having it. She steps in front of me, bat raised, her voice low and fierce. Back off, all of you. We didn't ask for this, and we're not your pawns. I love her for it, but I'm terrified, because Tommy's goons are inching closer, and the agent's hand is on his holster now. The diner's a powder keg, and we're the spark. I'm clutching the backpack, the box's weight pulling me down, and I'm thinking about our house, our life, how we just wanted a fresh start. Now we're in the middle of some federal sting, with a crime lord and a maybe traitor staring us down. My phone buzzes again, and I risk a glance, my hands sweaty. Another text, the agent's dirty. Run. My blood runs cold. Dirty? As in, working with Tommy? Or someone else? I show Tasha, and her eyes blaze, she's ready to bolt, but we're surrounded. The kitchen door creaks, and another figure steps out, not one of Tommy's crew, but a woman, older, with a hard face and a gun already drawn. She's not aiming at us, though she's pointing at the agent. Stand down, Carter, she says, her voice like ice. Carter. The agent's face twists, and I realize this is bigger than we thought. Another Fed. A rival crew? My head's spinning, but Tasha's tugging me toward the booth, trying to keep us out of the crossfire. Lena's crying now, muttering something about his safe, and Tommy's looking between the new woman and the agent like he's calculating his next move. The goons are frozen, waiting for orders, and I'm thinking this is it, the moment everything explodes. The box in my backpack feels like a bomb, and I'm the idiot holding the detonator. I lean into Tasha, whispering, we gotta get out. She nods, her eyes scanning for an exit, but the diner's locked down, Tommy's crew at the front, the kitchen blocked, and now this new woman's got the agent in her sights. The neon sign buzzes overhead, the only sound besides our breathing and Lena's quiet sobs. I'm thinking about that text, the one calling the agent dirty. If it's true, we can't trust anyone in this room, not Lena, not the feds, not even the woman with the gun. But if we run, where do we go? Our house is compromised, the streets are crawling with Tommy's crew, and the box is a magnet for trouble. I'm starting to wonder if the person texting me is the only one who knows the truth, but who are they? And why are they helping us? Tommy breaks the silence, his voice low and dangerous. You want the box, you're gonna have to take it, he says, looking at the agent and the woman. The agent, Carter, laughs, but it's nervous. You're out of your league, Tommy. That box is going to DC, not your boss. Boss? There's someone above Tommy. My mind's racing, piecing together Lena's words about someone higher up. The woman with the gun steps closer, her aim steady. Nobody's taking it, she says. Not until we know who's clean. Clean? My heart's pounding. If the agent's dirty, and Tommy's crew is working for some big shot, and Lena's hiding something, then this woman might be our only shot or another trap. Tasha's hand tightens on mine, and I know she's thinking the same thing. We're pawns in a game we don't understand, and the box is the prize. The diner's clock ticks, each second louder than the last. I'm sweating, the backpack pulling at my shoulder, and I'm thinking about our life before this, our dreams, our plans, all crumbling because of a box we didn't ask for. Lena's staring at me, her eyes begging for something, forgiveness, maybe, or help. But that text has me doubting her, and the agent's nervous glance at the woman with the gun isn't helping. Tommy's hand is still near his jacket, and I know he's not going down without a fight. The goons are shifting, ready to move, and the woman's finger is steady on her trigger. My phone's silent now, but I'm waiting for another text, something to tell us who to trust. The neon buzzes, the air crackles, and I know we're seconds from chaos. One move, one word, and this diner's gonna erupt. Tasha's ready, I'm terrified, and the box, whatever's in it, is about to decide our fate. What's the truth behind Lena, the agent, and this mysterious he? And who's texting us, pulling strings from the shadows? This is it, folks, the stakes are sky high, and we're one step from the edge. The diner's neon buzz is deafening now, like it's counting down to the explosion we all know is coming. Tommy V's hand hovers near his jacket, his scarred face a mask of rage and calculation. Tasha's bat is up, her body coiled like a spring, ready to swing at anyone who moves first. I'm clutching the backpack, the box inside feeling heavier than ever, and my mind screaming with that last text, the agent's dirty. Run. Agent Carter's badge gleams under the flickering light, but his eyes are shifty, darting between Tommy and the woman with the gun who called him out. Lena's sobbing quietly, muttering about his safe, and the two goons are twitching, waiting for Tommy's signal. The woman, some kind of rival player in this mess, has her gun trained on Carter, her voice steady as she says, "Nobody moves until we sort this out." But I know we're out of time. The air's so thick I can barely breathe, and Tasha's hand on mine is the only thing keeping me from bolting. This is it, the moment everything breaks. Tommy moves first, his hand diving for his weapon, and the diner erupts. Tasha swings her bat, catching one of the goons in the shoulder, sending him crashing into a table. Carter pulls his gun, but the woman's faster, she fires, clipping his arm, and he stumbles back, cursing. I dive behind the booth, dragging Lena with me, the backpack slamming against my ribs. "Stay down," I yell, but Lena's shaking her head, her eyes wild. "Give me the box, Jay," she pleads. "It's the only way." I'm not sure I trust her, not after that text, but Tommy's firing now, bullets shattering the diner's windows, and I'm thinking we're all dead if I don't do something. Tasha's holding her own, dodging the second goon's punch and landing a kick that sends him sprawling. She's a beast, but we're outnumbered, and Carter's back on his feet, blood dripping from his arm, his gun aimed at the woman. In the chaos, I rip open the backpack, fumbling with the box. The key sketch on Lena's note flashes in my mind, and I notice the combination dial again, 4 digits. On a hunch, I try the date from the notes corner, scribbled faint, 0713. The lock clicks, and my heart stops. Inside, no drugs, no money, just a USB drive and a stack of papers, names and dates scrawled in tight handwriting. Evidence, like Lena said, but of what? I don't have time to read it, because Tommy's spotted me. "Kid, don't," he roars, lunging across the booth. Tasha tackles him, her bat clattering to the floor, and they're grappling, her training against his brute strength. I shove the USB in my pocket and toss the papers to Lena. "If this is what you want, take it," I yell, hoping it buys us time. Lena snatches the papers, her face a mix of relief and terror, But before she can move, Carter's on her, yanking her arm. "You're not going anywhere," he snarls, and I realize the text was right, he's dirty, playing both sides. The woman with the gun shouts, "Carter, you traitor," and fires again, but he ducks, using Lena as a shield. My stomach twists. Tasha's still wrestling Tommy, blood on her knuckles, and I'm frozen, the USB burning in my pocket. Then Lena does something I don't expect. She twists free, slamming her elbow into Carter's face, and bolts for the kitchen. "Jay, run," she screams, clutching the papers. I grab Tasha's arm, pulling her off Tommy, and we sprint after Lena, dodging bullets as the goons recover and open fire. The kitchen's a maze of greasy counters and swinging doors, but Lena's ahead, leading us to a back exit. We burst into an alley, the night air hitting like a slap, and I hear boots pounding behind us, Tommy's crew, maybe Carter too. Lena's panting, clutching her side, but she doesn't stop. "Keep going," she gasps, pointing to a beat-up sedan parked nearby. "My car." We pile in, Tasha in the back, bat still in hand, and me up front with Lena. She fumbles the keys, her hands shaking, but the engine roars to life just as Tommy and one goon appear in the alley, guns raised. Tires screech as we peel out, bullets pinging off the bumper, and I'm gripping the USB, my heart in my throat. "Where are we going?" I yell, but Lena's focused, weaving through side streets like she's done this before. She doesn't answer right away, her eyes on the rearview mirror. "The papers, they're proof," she finally says, her voice hoarse. "Tommy's crew, Carter, they're all tied to a network, corrupt cops, politicians, you name it. The last owner of your house, he was their accountant. He hid the evidence before they killed him." My jaw drops. Our house, our fresh start, built on a dead man's secrets. Tasha leans forward, her voice sharp. "And you? What's your deal with Tommy?" Lena's hands tighten on the wheel, and here comes the resolution, raw and heavy. "He's my brother," she says, tears streaming down her face. "I thought I could save him, but he's too far gone. I gave you the note to keep you safe, to get the evidence out before they found it." I'm reeling, but there's no time to process. Headlights flash behind us, an SUV, Tommy's, gaining fast. Tasha's cursing, checking the bat for damage, and I'm thinking about the USB, the key to ending this. "We need to get this to someone clean," I say, my voice shaky. Lena nods, swerving onto a highway. "There's a reporter, someone I trust. She'll blow this wide open." But the SUV's closing in, and I know Tommy's not letting us go. The chase is on, city lights blurring past, and I'm praying we make it. Lena's phone buzzes, and she glances at it, her face going pale. "It's him," she whispers, and I know she means Tommy. She doesn't answer, but the look in her eyes says she's still torn, even after everything. We're nearing the reporter's office, a run-down building in the warehouse district, when the SUV rams us, hard. The car spins, Tasha's yelling, and I'm clutching the USB, thinking this is how it ends. Lena fights the wheel, pulling us back on track, but the SUV's relentless, Tommy's face visible through the windshield, all rage. "Hold on." Lena screams, flooring it toward a narrow alley. The car scrapes through, sparks flying, and the SUV can't follow, it's too wide. We skid to a stop outside the reporter's building, and Lena's out, banging on the door. A woman opens it, startled, but takes the papers and USB when Lena shoves them at her. "Publish it," Lena says, her voice breaking. "Now." We're catching our breath, thinking we've won, when the final twist hits like a knife. My phone buzzes, another text from the unknown number. "You were never the target." Lena was. My blood runs cold. I look at Lena, who's hugging the reporter, tears in her eyes, and I realize the truth. The texts weren't about saving us, they were about luring Lena out, using us as bait. Someone wanted her to deliver the evidence, to expose herself. But who? Carter. Tommy's boss. Someone higher? Before I can say anything, headlights flood the alley, not Tommy's SUV, but a black van, no plates. Doors slide open, and masked figures step out, guns drawn. Lena freezes, Tasha raises her bat, and I'm standing there, the USB gone but the danger far from over. The reporter bolts inside, slamming the door, and I know the evidence is safe, but us? We're staring down a new threat, one we never saw coming. Tommy's crew was just the start, this goes deeper, and Lena's the key. The masked figures advance, and I grab Tasha's hand, my heart pounding. We've resolved one fight, but this new twist says our story's far from over. Who's behind the texts, and what do they want with Lena? We're about to find out, and it's gonna be a wild ride. The alley's dark, the black van's headlights pinning us like spotlighted deer. Masked figures step out, guns gleaming, and my heart's hammering so hard I can barely think. Tasha's gripping her bat, her knuckles white, ready to fight despite the odds. Lena's frozen, her tear-streaked face lit by the glow, and I'm clutching her note in my pocket, the USB long gone to the reporter. That last text, "You were never the target." Lena is burning in my mind, and I'm realizing we've been pawns in someone's game all along. The reporter's door is shut, the evidence safe, but us? We're staring down a new threat, and I'm not sure we're walking away from this. Tasha's eyes meet mine, fierce and steady, and I know she's thinking the same thing. We've come too far to give up now. Lena whispers, "I'm sorry," her voice breaking, but there's no time for apologies. The masked figures are closing in, and I'm bracing for the worst. Then, a screech of tires cuts through the night. Headlights flood the alley from the other end, and a beat-up pickup truck skids to a stop, blocking the van's path. It's Marcus, Tasha's old training buddy from the gym, his face grim as he leans out the window, a shotgun in his hands. "Get in," he yells, and we don't hesitate. Tasha shoves Lena toward the truck, and I'm right behind, diving into the bed as Marcus fires a warning shot over the masked figures' heads. They scatter, ducking behind the van, and Marcus floors it, the truck lurching forward. Bullets ping off the tailgate, but we're moving, weaving through the warehouse district's maze of alleys. My pulse is racing, and I'm clinging to the truck bed, Tasha's arm around Lena, who's shaking like a leaf. "Who were they?" I yell over the roar of the engine, but Lena just shakes her head, her eyes distant. Marcus glances back through the rear window. "No time, Jay. We gotta disappear." We ditch the truck a few miles out, near an old industrial park, and Marcus leads us to a safe house, a dingy apartment above a shuttered auto shop. The place smells like oil and stale coffee, but it's got locks on the doors and a view of the street, which is more than we've had all night. Tasha's pacing, her bat still in hand, while Lena slumps on a ratty couch, staring at the floor. I'm trying to piece it all together, the box, the evidence, Tommy V, Agent Carter, the masked figures, and that damn text. Marcus hands us water bottles, his face hard. "I got your text," he says to Tasha. "Figured you'd need backup. But this is next level." Tasha nods, her jaw tight. "Thanks, man. You saved our asses." I'm grateful, but my mind's on Lena. "Talk," I say, sitting across from her. "Who were those guys? And who's been texting me?" Lena's hands tremble as she meets my eyes. "I don't know about the texts," she says, her voice raw. "But those men, they're not Tommy's. They're from the network, the people above him. The ones the evidence exposes." My stomach twists. The network, corrupt cops, politicians, the big shots Lena mentioned. "Why you?" I ask, remembering the text. "Why were you the target?" She takes a shaky breath, and the truth spills out, heavy and ugly. "I wasn't just Tommy's sister. I was in deep with them, years ago. Bookkeeping, moving money, covering tracks. I got out when I got pregnant, but they never let you go. The accountant, your house's last owner, he was my mentor. When he turned on them, he gave me the evidence to hide. I thought I could use it to bargain, to protect my son." Her son. The he she kept mentioning. My heart aches for her, but I'm still pissed. "You dragged us into this," I say, my voice sharp. Tasha puts a hand on my shoulder, calming me, but her eyes are hard too. Lena nods, tears falling. "I know. I thought if I got you to the diner, I could get the evidence and disappear. But they were always one step ahead." Tasha leans in, her voice low. "And the texts? If it wasn't you, who?" Lena shakes her head. "I don't know. Someone inside, maybe. Someone who wanted the evidence out but needed me to take the fall." I pull out my phone, checking the last message again. No new texts, But I'm starting to think the sender's not done with us. Marcus, who's been listening quietly, speaks up. We need to lay low. That reporter's got the evidence, but those guys won't stop until they're sure it's buried. He's right, and I'm exhausted, but I'm not ready to hide forever. Our house, our life, it's tainted now, but I'm not letting these people win. The next morning, the news hits like a bomb. The reporter, Sarah Klein, publishes the evidence online: names, dates, recordings, all tying the network to everything from bribes to murders. The USB had encrypted files, Lena explains, detailing years of corruption, with Agent Carter as a key player. The papers listed safe houses, bank accounts, even a hit list with the accountant's name and Lena's. The stories everywhere, trending on X, with people calling for arrests. Tommy V's face is plastered on every news site, labeled a fugitive, and Carter's been suspended, his badge worthless. I'm glued to Marcus's old laptop, watching the chaos unfold, and Tasha's beside me, her hand on mine. We did this, she whispers, a mix of pride and disbelief. Lena's quiet, staring at a photo of a toddler on her phone, her son, safe with her aunt, she says. But I know she's not free, not yet. We stay at the safe house for days, waiting for the heat to die down. Marcus keeps watch, his shotgun never far, and Tasha's training me to throw a punch, just in case. Lena opens up more, telling us about her son, her regrets, how she tried to shield us by leaving the note. I'm still mad, but I get it, she was desperate, like us. One night, my phone buzzes with a new text from the unknown number: "You're safe now. Keep it that way." My heart skips. I show Tasha, and she frowns. Who the hell is this? We try tracing the number, but it's a burner, untraceable. Marcus thinks it's someone high up, maybe a whistleblower who used us to get the evidence out. Lena guesses it's her old contact, a hacker who hated the network but stayed in the shadows. We'll never know, and that's the hardest part, living with the mystery, knowing someone out there played us like chess pieces. By the end of the week, the feds raid the network's safe houses, arrests piling up. Tommy V's caught in a sting, his face bruised on the news, and I feel a strange mix of relief and pity. Lena's brother, but a monster too. The masked figures from the van vanish, no trace, and I'm starting to think they were ghosts, hired muscle for a network that's crumbling. Sarah Klein's article names Lena as a source, but she's listed as anonymous, and we make sure it stays that way. Lena decides to disappear, take her son, start over somewhere quiet. She hugs us before she leaves, her eyes red. You gave me a second chance, she says, and I nod, but I'm thinking about our own second chance. Our house is ours again, but it's not home anymore, not after everything. Tasha and I move, selling the house to a young couple who don't know its history. We rent a small apartment downtown, closer to her gym and my classes. It's not much, but it's clean, no shadows lurking. We're different now, tougher, maybe, but still us. Tasha's back in the octagon, training harder, and I'm studying journalism, inspired by Sarah Klein. I want to tell stories, expose truths, make sure people like Lena aren't forgotten. We don't talk about the box much, but it's there, in the way we check the locks at night, the way Tasha keeps her bat by the bed. Marcus visits sometimes, bringing pizza and bad jokes, and we laugh, but we're always watching the street, just in case. The subplots wrap up quietly. Mrs. Carter, our old neighbor, sends us a card, saying she's proud we stood up to those thugs. The diner, Roses, closes for repairs, but the waitress posts on X, saying she's okay, just shaken. The online forum where I first heard about Tommy V goes silent, the regulars scattering after the news breaks. I check it one last time, finding a post from an anonymous user: "Thanks for stirring the pot, kid." It's got to be the texter, I think, but there's no reply when I message back. The key sketch, the one on Lena's note, haunts me until I realize it was the accountant's signature, a symbol he used on every document. It's in the evidence files, public now, and I feel a chill knowing how close we came to being another name on that hit list. Looking back, I'm struck by how fast life can change. One day, you're just a couple trying to make it. The next, you're running from killers, holding secrets that could topple empires. Tasha and I learned we're stronger than we thought, but we also learned trust is fragile. Lena's story, her fight for her son, sticks with me. She was flawed, scared, but she did what she could. The texter, whoever they were, gave us a lifeline, but they used us too, and that's a hard pill to swallow. The network's not gone, not completely. People like that don't vanish, but we hurt them, and that's something. Our takeaway: life's messy, and sometimes you stumble into battles you didn't choose. But you fight, you hold on to the people you love, and you keep going. As I write this, Tasha's asleep on the couch, her bat leaning against the wall. The city's quiet outside, and for the first time in weeks, I feel like we can breathe. The evidence is out, the bad guys are on the run, and we're still here, together. But I keep my phone close, just in case that unknown number texts again. Because if there's one thing I've learned, it's that stories like ours don't end, they just pause, waiting for the next twist. So, what's the big lesson? Don't underestimate the quiet moments, the choices you make, the people you trust. They can change everything. Stick around, folks, because life's a wild ride, and you never know what's around the corner.